Young people today are more connected, more ambitious than ever before. But let's be real, behind all those filtered smiles, there's often this silent crisis going on. A struggle with pressure, anxiety, and just that feeling that you're constantly fighting some kind of invisible battle. So let's talk about it. Let's explore some of the habits that might just be holding you back.
So for this whole breakdown, we're actually pulling directly from Rohit Waj's book, Habits to Control in Young Age. We're going to use it to break down those small, tiny decisions that quietly, day by day, shape exactly who we become.
You know that feeling, right? You end the day completely exhausted, but when you look back, you feel like you got absolutely nothing done. The book calls this a state of internal chaos, and it's just this constant feeling of being completely overwhelmed. So what's really going on here?
Well, the book argues that at the very heart of all this chaos are our habits, those tiny, automatic things we do every single day, most of the time without even thinking about it. These are the silent struggles that are literally defining our future.
And this is a huge reality for so many of us. You're trying to navigate school pressure, the constant need for social validation, and that quiet, nagging fear of not being good enough. And look, these aren't just random feelings. They are often the direct result of the habits we're about to break down. But here's the empowering part. This is not a life sentence. Not at all. We can totally take back control. The book points out a few key habits, but we're going to zero in on 3 big ones that act as these silent dream killers. So let's start by unmasking these inner enemies. All right, first up is the one we all know and, well, the one we all put off dealing with. The book calls procrastination the most common and, honestly, the most dangerous habit for young people. Why? Because it just silently eats away at our productivity and fuels this constant low-grade anxiety.
This image of just smashing through a wall, man, it is perfect. We always think we'll just get to it later, right? But like the quote says, what that really means is we're always trying to catch up with what we should have done yesterday. It's like a debt that just keeps getting bigger.
And here's a really critical insight from the source. Procrastination is not laziness. It's not a character flaw. It's actually a defense mechanism. It's your brain's kind of misguided attempt to protect you from uncomfortable feelings. The fear of failing, the anxiety of not being perfect, or just being totally overwhelmed by a huge task. It's a form of self-sabotage that's all about avoiding a feeling. So how do you fight back? The book gives us these simple, super powerful tools. First, try the 5-minute rule. Just tell yourself, I'm only going to do this for 5 minutes. So often, just getting started is the hardest part. Or break that huge project down into tiny, little manageable steps. And maybe the simplest one of all, put your phone in another room. Seriously, out of sight, out of mind. And think about it. Where do we usually run to escape that anxiety that procrastination creates? Well, that brings us right to our second inner enemy, and it's probably in your hand right now. Screen addiction doesn't just waste your time, it actively rewires your brain, damaging your ability to focus deeply on anything meaningful. I mean, just think about it. These apps are designed to give you these little hits of dopamine with every swipe, every notification. The source calls it digital junk food. And that's exactly what it is. It's addictive, it's not really satisfying, and it makes real-world stuff like studying or creating something feel kind of boring by comparison. So the book suggests going on a digital diet. First step, just track your screen time for 1 day. The numbers will probably shock you. Then, create some sacred no-phone zones, especially during meals or for the first and last hour of your day. And finally, turn off all those non-essential notifications. You decide where your attention goes. Don't let an app decide for you. So what happens when we spend our days putting things off and then escaping into our screens? Well, it often fuels our final and most personal inner enemy. The one that's completely invisible to everybody else, but is often the loudest voice we hear. And that's the critic inside our own head. Wow. This internal battle, it just hits home, doesn't it? On one side, you've got those dark, critical thoughts. I'm not good enough. I always mess this up. But on the other, you have the potential for this positive, empowered self. And the source is crystal clear on this. The dialogue you have with yourself is the most important one you will ever have, period. And this isn't just about being humble, it's a genuinely destructive habit. The book points out these common forms like labeling yourself a failure after just one mistake, or overgeneralizing by saying, I always get this wrong. And over time, these aren't just thoughts anymore. They become what you believe about yourself. But the good news is you can retrain that voice. The moment you catch a negative thought, challenge it. Just ask yourself, wait a minute, is this actually 100% true? Then replace it. Instead of I failed, try saying I learned something.
And curate your social media feed. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like you're falling behind, and follow people who actually inspire you.
Okay, so we've unmasked the three big enemies: procrastination, screen addiction, and negative self-talk. So what's the master weapon to defeat them all? Well, the book argues it's not motivation. No, it's something far more powerful, far more reliable. It's discipline.
This quote from Abraham Lincoln just nails it, doesn't it? It's all about trading that cheap, instant pleasure, one more scroll, hitting the snooze button, for the deep, lasting satisfaction of actually getting what you truly want in the long run.
And this comparison right here gets to the heart of it. Motivation, that's a feeling. It's a spark that can fade just as quickly as it shows up. But discipline, as the book argues, is a system. It's the foundation you build, it's the path you walk every single day, whether you feel like it or not. That's what actually turns your dreams into reality.
And here's the really powerful paradox. Discipline isn't about restricting yourself. It's about creating freedom. A simple routine, like this one adapted from the book, gets rid of decision fatigue. You're not wasting mental energy trying to figure out what to do next. You just do it. And that structure gives you more control, and ironically, more freedom to focus on what really matters.
Okay, I get it. That might all seem like a lot to take on at once, but the book offers a really powerful, super simple way to begin without getting totally overwhelmed. It's all about starting small.
This is such a freeing idea. You do not need a massive life overhaul overnight. The book's advice is just to focus on getting 1% better each day. Drink one more glass of water. Read one page of a book. Put your phone away 5 minutes earlier. These tiny little upgrades seem totally insignificant in the moment, but they compound into massive, massive change over time.
Let's end on this powerful statement from the author because it's so important. It's a reminder that your current situation doesn't define you. Your habits do. And you have the power to choose them, to design them, and to build the life you want one small decision at a time. So, I'm going to leave you with this question from the book. Forget about tomorrow. Forget about next week. What is the one tiny 1% improvement you can make right now, today, to start being the architect of your own life?